This video is presented by Western and Southern Financial Group, a game plan for your financial future. Every great team starts with a strong foundation, and your future should too. With life insurance built like a championship roster, Western and Southern helps protect what matters most so you can focus on winning today while planning for tomorrow. Whether you're just starting out your journey, building your dynasty, or ready to retire like a champion, Western and Southern has the right play for your life stage. Visit westernsouthern.com to get your free life insurance quote today. Western and Southern, built to win.
So the team that I really want to focus on in this division, though, is the Baltimore Ravens. You talked about Tyler Linderbaum being a great fit for, the Chargers, I think. He'd be a great fit for any team that has an interior offensive line need. He's a pending free agent for them, and this is a interior offensive line that did not play very well in Baltimore last season, but Tyler Linderbaum wasn't the reason why. I think that they have the ability to retain him. They will, and I do think that they have that ability because $13.3 million in effective cap space right now. That's just 17th most in the NFL. However, if you figure out what you want to do with Lamar Jackson, you can restructure his contract. You gain $38 million there, easy, and then depending on what the long-term outlook is with Nnamdi Madubuike, you could restructure his contract. You could restructure Marlon Humphreys as well, and those two combined almost get you another $30 million. So they've got nearly $66 million that they can add to that 13.3 in just restructures of players that you ideally would want to keep on the roster anyway. So it looks like the Ravens could be a player in free agency to really make some noise, which they need to because you mentioned offensive line. They're going to have to re-sign Linderbaum. Defensive line as well. I think this team just overall has to get better along the defensive line. Although if Madubuike is back, that really is a big boost for them. Travis Jones played well down the stretch. You're hoping that Mike Green takes the next step for them. Does Jesse Minter bring back Odafe Owe, who, funny enough, got traded from the Ravens over to the Chargers? And now Minter, who was the defensive coordinator of the Chargers, now he's the head coach with the Ravens. Does he just come back to Baltimore, and do you feel good about that? Wide receiver, though, that's pretty huge for them. I think when you look at those first-round mock draft projections, it really comes down to wide receiver or interior offensive line, right? I think we always see Vega Ioane, the offensive guard from Penn State, for them there in the middle of the first round. But I've started to see a lot more mock drafts of, hey, Mekhi Lemon, Jordan Tyson, Carnell Tate, whichever one of those wide receivers makes it to number 14, if any of them do, they could be options for the Ravens as well at wide receiver. What do you think about this team's needs and how they're set up this offseason?
Yeah, I think they're to be honest, pretty clear and obvious what they need to fix. You mentioned the interior offensive line. Re-signing Linderbaum would be a huge plus, right? And then you could focus more on the guard spots, I think, in the draft. I think you look at this defense especially, they just could not get after the quarterback last year. They need more explosive pass rushers. Obviously, internally, if a guy like Mike Green could step up off the edge, that would be awesome, but they need to continue to look for pass rush help. It's something ironically that Jesse Minter was looking for a little bit with the Chargers as well, right? And then I think another key player in that free agent list is Alohi Gilman, who actually Minter coached the first half of the season in LA and then traded him to Baltimore for Odafe Owe, like you mentioned. But bringing him back would, or somebody, whether it's Gilman or another veteran safety, somebody who can allow Kyle Hamilton to keep playing in that down low role like a Nicky Manwari, like he had Derwin James doing out there in LA. I think safety is going to be something they look at in the veteran free agent market as well. Maybe that's keeping Gilman, who's familiar with the system, or maybe going and getting somebody else, but you want to keep Kyle Hamilton as flexible as possible. I think that is a key spot in this defense too.
I agree. Yeah, very similar to that conversation that we had with the Seahawks of just doing what you need to do to allow Nicky Manwari to be flexible. The same thing, obviously, with Kyle Hamilton, somebody who could do a lot for your defense, too. So it'd be interesting to see how they attack interior offensive line beyond Tyler Linderbaum. And then wide receivers, if there's any intriguing wide receivers that hit the market that they feel pretty good about, and how we might be talking differently about their mid-first round pick after free agency, which it seems like they've got the ability to make some good noise there.